The 7 levels of BMW cars explained. Level 1. X6. BMW invented a problem that didn't exist and called it innovation. The X6 is a coupe SUV, which is automotive speak for we took an SUV and ruined the practicality while adding nothing of value. It sits high like an SUV so handling suffers, but the roofline slopes like a coupe so rear headroom disappears. You get the worst of both worlds wrapped in styling that looks like an X5 melted in the sun. The X6 debuted in 2008 and every automotive journalist with functioning eyes called it ugly. BMW didn't care because rich people with no taste bought it anyway. Soccer moms who wanted something sporty bought it. Real estate agents who needed to look successful bought it. People who make poor decisions bought it in such numbers that BMW kept building them and every other manufacturer copied the formula. Here's what you're actually getting. Less cargo space than a normal X5, worse visibility, higher price tag, and the privilege of driving something that looks like it's permanently squatting. The X6 drives fine because it's based on the X5, which is a good SUV ruined by trying to be something it's not. This is BMW admitting they care more about selling cars to people with questionable taste than building vehicles that make sense. The X6 is automotive cynicism. Proof that you can sell anything if you market it hard enough. It's the worst BMW because it represents everything wrong with modern BMW. Style over substance, marketing over engineering, profits over pride. Level 2. i3. BMW's first dedicated electric car looked like a designer dropped acid and sketched a toaster on wheels. The i3 has suicide doors, a carbon fiber passenger cell, and styling that looks like it came from a science fiction movie where the future is aggressively ugly. The interior uses sustainable materials like eucalyptus wood and recycled plastics, which sounds noble until you realize it just looks cheap. The original i3 had 170 horsepower and 81 miles of range, which meant you could drive it around town and experience range anxiety by lunchtime. BMW offered a range extender version with a tiny motorcycle engine that kicked in when the battery died, adding complexity without solving the fundamental problem that nobody wanted to drive something that looked this weird for this little range. The i3 was BMW's electric experiment, and it shows. The wheels are bicycle thin to reduce rolling resistance, making it look like a shopping cart. The proportions are all wrong. The performance is adequate for city driving and terrifying on highways. BMW tried to be revolutionary and instead created something that aged terribly the moment Tesla proved electric cars could be normal looking and actually desirable. The i3 is what happens when a legacy manufacturer panics about electric competition and rushes something to market without understanding what people actually want. Level 3. Modern 330i. The modern 330i is technically excellent and spiritually dead. 255 horsepower from a turbocharged 4-cylinder all-wheel drive, enough technology to fly a plane, and absolutely zero soul. It's quick, comfortable, refined, and completely forgettable. This is BMW building a car for people who brought the badge because their parents told them BMWs was special. The steering is numb. The engine note is synthesized through speakers because turbocharged 4 cylinders sound like vacuum cleaners. The whole car feels like it was designed by algorithm. Fast enough to feel sporty, comfortable enough to commute, boring enough that you'll forget you drove it 5 minutes after parking. Where's the connection? Where's the engagement? Where's the feeling you're driving the ultimate driving machine? The 330i is a BMW for people who don't actually care about driving. It's transportation with a premium badge, competent in every way and exciting in none. Previous generations of 3 Series made you want to take the long way home. This one makes you want to check your phone at a stoplight. BMW spent decades building their reputation on driving dynamics and then threw it away to chase Mercedes comfort and Audi technology. The result is a car that does everything well and nothing memorably. Before we hit level 4, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. We're about to meet the BMWs that actually remember what the brand stands for. Level 4. E92 M3. Finally, a BMW that feels like a BMW. The E92 M3 packs a 4.0-liter naturally aspired V8, making 414 horsepower that screams to 8,400 RPM. This is the last M3 before BMW turbocharged everything and ruined the sound. That V8 is BMW Motorsport's masterpiece. High revving, naturally aspirated, and sonically intoxicating in ways modern turbo engines can never match. The E92 looks aggressive with flared fenders and a power dome hood. The manual transmission connects you to the car in ways paddle shifters can't replicate. The hydraulic steering communicates what the front wheels are doing. This is the last analog M3, the final version before electronics took over and made everything faster but less engaging. It's not perfect. The throttle response has a slight delay. The SMG automated manual transmission in early models is clunky, but the E92 M3 represents BMW motorsport before they compromised for efficiency and emissions. It's a naturally aspirated V8 in a chassis that wants you to drive hard, paired with steering and suspension that rewards skill. This is what BMW M cars were supposed to be. Special versions for people who actually drive. Level 5. E39 M5. Many people consider the E39 M5 the best sports sedan ever built. BMW took their midsize sedan and stuffed in a 4.9-liter naturally aspirated V8, making 394 horsepower borrowed from the M5's racing program. 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds from a four-door sedan in 1998 was absurd. The top speed was electrically limited to 155 miles per hour, but removed the limiter and it would run past 180. The E39 M5 looked like a normal 5 Series, which was the point. Stealth luxury performance that could embarrass sports cars at stoplights and then haul your family in comfort. The V8 sound is legendary, a howl that builds from idle to redline without artificial enhancement. The manual transmission is precise. The steering provides feedback modern cars have completely lost. BMW built 20,482 of them worldwide across 6 years, making it rare enough to feel special but common enough that you can still find clean examples. The E39 M5 represents peak BMW. Beautiful design, incredible engine, driving dynamics that prioritized feel over lap times, and build quality that meant these cars are still running strong 25 years later. This is the benchmark that every sports sedan since has tried and failed to match. Level 6. E30 M3. The E30 M3 was built to homologate BMW's touring car racing program, and that racing pedigree shows in every detail. A 2.3-liter 4-cylinder making just 192 horsepower doesn't sound impressive until you realize the E30 M3 weighs barely 2,800 pounds. Power-to-weight ratio matters more than horsepower numbers, and the E30 proved it by dominating touring car racing throughout the late 1980s. The box flares were functional, widening the track for better handling. The small rear spoiler generated real downforce. The S14 engine revved to 7,200 RPM and sounded like a race car because it essentially was. The steering was direct, the chassis was balanced, and the whole car felt alive in ways modern M3s with triple the power can't replicate. BMW built around 17,000 E30 M3s, and today they're worth more than they cost new. Clean examples sell for 6 figures because enthusiasts finally understand what they had. The E30 M3 is lightweight performance in its purest form. No electronic assists, no turbochargers, just a race-bred engine and a perfectly balanced chassis. This is what happens when BMW Motorsport builds a car for homologation first and street driving second. It's raw, engaging, and legendary. Level 7. 2002 Turbo. The BMW 2002 Turbo invented the sport compact. Before 1973, nobody turbocharged a small sedan for performance. BMW did it first with the 2002 Turbo, creating a template that the entire automotive industry has been following for 50 years. 170 horsepower from a turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-cylinder doesn't sound like much today, but in 1973, it was enough to make the 2002 Turbo the fastest BMW you could buy. The backwards turbo script on the front air dam is iconic. The boxy styling is timeless. The driving experience is raw and mechanical in ways modern cars have completely lost. No electronic aids, no stability control, just a turbocharged engine with lag you had to anticipate and rear-wheel drive that demanded respect. The 2002 Turbo would bite you if you weren't careful, and that danger was part of the appeal. BMW only built 1,672 of them before fuel crisis concerns killed production. Today, they're worth serious money because collectors finally appreciate what the 2002 Turbo represents. The birth of the sport compact, the beginning of turbocharged performance cars, and the foundation that BMW's entire sporting reputation is built on. Every hot hatchback, every turbocharged sports sedan, every small performance car owes its existence to the 2002 Turbo, proving the formula worked. This is where BMW's ultimate driving machine philosophy began. This is automotive history. This is the GOAT. So which level BMW are you driving, and which one's going in your dream garage? Comment below, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for more.